Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go the Cash App, $ Deem by any means. Hey yo, I want to give a big shout out to Ty. Ty, you was amazing. You have been showing so much love, and normally I don't give everybody shout outs that Cash App or send super chats because I don't be wanting everybody all in your business, and they don't need to know what you doing with your hard earned money. But Ty been showing so much love. I just want to say, Queen, it is truly appreciated. I don't undervalue it. I understand how hard it is to make $1 in this world, and you could spend it anywhere. But you've been showing me love, so I just want to say I truly appreciate that. And thank you. And just know all the money and things that I make off of this YouTube channel is going to a good cause. I don't spend $1 in none of this. I don't benefit any way from any of this. So I just wanted to tell y'all thank you because everything that I put, any money that get donated to me or on YouTube that I make, it goes to a very good cause. I just want y'all to know that where if you do spend money with Dean, just know it's going to a good place. But there go to Cash App, there go to PayPal at Dean by any means, and y'all see that heart with the $ at the bottom? That's the super chat. You could press that at any time your heart desires. Please say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated. Since y'all want to talk, since Terrence Crawford want to run his mouth, and this is my guy, and I'm a Terrence Crawford fan inside of the ring. And the crazy thing is, me and Terrence Crawford, Bert, we are the same zodiac sign, which is crazier. But I'm a big fan of Terrence Crawford inside of the ring. Outside of the ring, not much at all. Actually, not even a little bit, to be honest. I don't really like Terrence Crawford outside of the ring, but inside of the ring, amazing fighter, A-class fighter, future Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever put gloves on. Yeah. But I guess what, y'all? I can say all that about Gervonta Davis, and y'all sit up there and try to discredit this man. So since Terrence Crawford got such an opinion on Gervonta Davis, then I'm about to have an opinion on him having an opinion on Gervonta Davis and what he does. Y'all. Terrence Crawford was 30 years old in 2018. Do y'all want to know who Terrence Crawford was fighting in 2018? That's when he knocked out. That's when he beat David Benavidez's big brother. Terrence Crawford at 30 years old didn't even get his biggest fight yet. He didn't fight Kell Brook, I believe. He didn't fight Sean Porter yet. He didn't fight Earl Spencer. None of this stuff that y'all be holding in the air. He was fighting Jose Benavidez. Go look at Terrence Crawford's resume prior to 2018. Terrence Crawford, when you was 30 years old, you was nowhere near Gervonta Davis. You have no room to talk. You wasn't on pay-per-view. You wasn't doing none of that stuff. You was flopping. You was complaining about your contracts. You was doing all of that stuff that we know you for then. When you was 30 years old, sir. It took you till you was 36 years old to get your biggest fight of your career. And when you fight Canelo, you will be 38 years old by the time you do fight Canelo. You have fought Terrence Crawford 8 times in the last 7 years, and you got a nerve to be telling somebody what they should or shouldn't be doing. You are not active enough to tell anybody anything, and you are on your way out the sport. I truly believe Terrence Crawford is going to fight Canelo Alvarez and then retire. And if he don't retire, he's going to retire probably the year after that. Terrence Crawford is on his way out the door. And if he get beat up bad enough by Canelo, I think he's going to retire there. But let's talk about it even more. Terrence Crawford, we can't compare Gervonta Davis to you right now because you're 7 years older than Gervonta Davis, and he is a bigger star than you now. He's a way bigger star than you now. But Terrence, what I want you to do, to be fair, compare your money and all of that stuff that you're talking about. Compare that to Gervonta Davis when you was 30. There is no comparison. By the time Gervonta Davis is your age, I truly believe he would have knocked out Shakur already. He would have knocked out Lomachenko, Devin, Orteo, all of those guys by the time he is 38 years old. He just turned 30. Do y'all know how long that is? By the time Gervonta Davis is 38 years old, my 12-year-old daughter will be grown. Just to put that out there, my 12-year-old daughter will be a grown woman in 8 years. Terence Crawford, when you was 30 years old, you weren't half the star Gervonta Davis was. You haven't done half the things Gervonta Davis did in boxing. They was underpaying you. Do you remember those days when you was complaining? You turned 30. It took you till you was 36, 37 years old. Well, I'm going to say 37 because you're the biggest you've ever been now. And you're still not bigger than Errol Spence. How are you going to tell somebody, Terence Crawford, do you know we know how to do math? And you got Mike Coppinger lying for you, but like Mike Coppinger don't understand that we know how to do math too. Terence Crawford has fought 7 times he has fought 8 times in the last 7 years. And half of those fights weren't big fights. He wasn't breaking the bank on those fights. He wasn't getting more than Gervonta Davis was for at least half of those fights. None of his last 3 fights have done better than any of Gervonta Davis's last 3 fights. That is a fact. Mike Coppinger literally tried to take out Gervonta Davis's biggest fights and then put in Terence Crawford's biggest fights. Are you insane? Are you insane? Terence Crawford, when you was 30 years old, you weren't even in the same stratosphere as Gervonta Davis is today. See, I ain't going to put future tense on Gervonta because we already know Gervonta Davis 8 years from now would be a bigger, you couldn't even fathom being that big of a superstar. He'd be a bigger superstar than you ever thought about being because he's bigger than you now. And you're the biggest you are the most popular you are ever going to be. You're not going to get more popular than this unless you knock out Canelo Alvarez, and we all know that that is not going to happen. Nobody has knocked out Canelo Alvarez, but a natural 140-pounder, 147-pounder going to do it? Okay. And all you Terence Crawford fans that's knob gobbling him when he loses to Canelo Alvarez, I don't want to hear no excuses that he tried for greatness and all that. He begged for the fight. Canelo got a bag that he couldn't turn down and beat him up. That's what happened. We're going to see Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez 2.0, and Canelo Alvarez knows it. I watched Terence Crawford versus Madrimov, and I watched Canelo Alvarez last fight. Terence Crawford is not even that much faster than Canelo Alvarez. That's literally the truth. His defense is not that much better than Canelo Alvarez, as we've seen from Madrimov. Keep giving him straight right hands. Hey, y'all, what is one of Canelo Alvarez's favorite punches? Don't answer that question. It's okay. What I want to get on to is Terence Crawford, you got a nerve to sit up there and try to judge Gervonta Davis or say what he doing when you was 30 years old. You wasn't even close to him, my guy. You've been hurting the sport. People talk about Tank ain't active enough. Meanwhile, y'all let Terence Crawford fight 8 times in the last 7 years of his life. Terence Crawford has fought 8 times in the last 7 years of his life. But he got the nerve to be talking about Gervonta Davis. When you was 30 years old, you weren't nowhere near your biggest fight. Comparing you to Gervonta Davis at 30 is literally laughable. You're not a superstar now. Could y'all just imagine 7 years ago, before a lot of these notable content creators that be knob gobbling them, they didn't even have, I want y'all to understand, y'all, 7 years ago, half of the biggest YouTube channels that's in boxing right now didn't even have channels then. Do y'all understand that? I don't believe 7 years ago Fanon had a channel. I don't think Knockout had a channel. Manager Marty, BFBTB, or he might have just started. Showbiz, name them, Blue Blood, name them. They didn't even have channels when you was 30 years old. To try to compare yourself to Gervonta Davis is crazy when he has surpassed you at 37 years old. The question ain't, is you doing good? What now, Terence? How much richer will Gervonta Davis be than you by the time he's 38 years old, like you're about to turn? How much richer will Gervonta Davis be than you by the time he's 37 years old? Oh, yeah, Terence Crawford, I hate to tell you this. If he knocks out Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, if we wind up seeing all of the fights that we want to see from Gervonta Davis and he does what I think he's going to do, he'll go down as a greater fighter than you as well. Because your best win would be Errol Spence. His best win would be against, I don't know, how many Hall of Famers Terence Crawford has fought? Go on Terrence Crawford's resume and point out how many Hall of Famers he fought. So far, if you ask me, he's fought one. Sean Porter maybe get in there, Kell Brooker maybe, but so far he's only fought one that's going to be a future Hall of Famer that I know of. Maybe somebody that they just let in the Hall of Fame. What's the boy name that he knocked out? What's the white boy name, y'all, that he beat for undisputed at 140? I forget the boy name. Whatever. One of his best wins is against Jeff Horn. Y'all think Shakur Stevenson gonna be a future Hall of Famer? Yes. You think Devin gonna be a future Hall of Famer? Yes. You think Teofimo Lopez gonna be a future Hall of Famer? Yes. You think Vasil Lomachenko gonna be a future Hall of Famer? Yes. The crazy thing is, I know y'all hate to hear this. The craziest part is, if Lamont Roach keep doing what he's doing, he'll be a future Hall of Famer. That's the craziest part about it. Lamont Roach get undisputed, he's going to probably be in the Hall of Fame, especially if he go up to 135 and does amazing there, which I think he's very capable of. That's the craziest part about it all. He'll be a fringe Hall of Famer. But the funniest thing is, you sit up there and talk like you are the say-all, be-all. Terence Crawford, when you was 30, you wasn't even in, you haven't accomplished half of what Gervonta Davis accomplished. And all y'all that be sitting up there talking about, oh, Dean, Terence Crawford, Tank ain't on Terence level, then why people don't want to go buy his fights? Why is he not a bigger superstar than Gervonta Davis? Why do he got to beg turkey for a bag? Why people don't come to his fights? Why isn't he doing better than Gervonta Davis? Please tell me, if y'all respect this man so much, why y'all don't buy his fights? Why y'all don't go to his fights? Because y'all wasn't in LA at his last fight because it flopped. Why don't Terence Crawford get as much support as Gervonta Davis does if he's just so much better than Gervonta and nobody wants to see Gervonta, and Gervonta been giving us all trash fights? Then tell me why the world don't recognize Terence Crawford that way. Hey, y'all, Terence Crawford think Gervonta Davis is a great fighter. He was just bigging him up. Then now he telling Tank he ain't got time for him because Tank took it too far. Nah, my guy, you should have kept his name out of his mouth because he wasn't even talking about you. You put yourself in it. Oh, yeah, y'all. And if Terence Crawford came down to 144, Gervonta would knock his dumb ass out. If Yorkie, we've seen him Bambi-legged a few times, and definitely at 37. Terence Crawford, to me, Terence Crawford is not better at nothing than Gervonta Davis. Let me just put this all the way out there. His defense, definitely not better. Counter punching, definitely not, because Gervonta Davis is a one-punch counter knockout artist. Terence Crawford is an accumulative punch knockout artist. Gervonta Davis is faster than Terence Crawford. Gervonta Davis has better footwork than Terence Crawford. Oh, yeah, Gervonta Davis is probably stronger than Terence Crawford as well, pound for pound. And definitely, if they got to fight at a neutral weight class, he'll definitely be stronger than him. Talking about me. So y'all sitting up here doing all of this chit-chatting and ranting and doing all that. The thing I just want to know, y'all, is don't compare yourself when you're 7, 8 years older than somebody else. Compare yourself when you and him was the same age, and it isn't a comparison. And I haven't seen no content creators talk about that part of it. It's not even a comparison, my guy. When you was 30 years old, you was fighting Jose Benavidez Jr. You ain't have your biggest fight yet. We wasn't talking about you. We were saying you might be a future Hall of Famer. You didn't get your biggest bag yet. You wasn't this star that you claim to be, that think that you are today. Gervonta Davis is already there. How much further will he be 7 years from now when he's your age? Y'all already know what this is, though, right? Deem by any means. And I holla at y'all.